Hello YouTube. I wanted to do another video with the Mark 18. So I ordered it 3 weeks ago. They've been pretty hard to find, but I bought it through Freedom Training Company, I believe is the name of them. And I got the last one in FD they had, and I just recently got an email yesterday that they had restocked. So in my experience, a great company. They have a lot of fantastic weapons in stock compared to most. And so I picked up this Mark 18. And when I ordered it, it was about a little over $2,000. I think with shipping and taxes, it ended up being $2,200 around there. And immediately when I ordered it, I went ahead and ordered a optic and a light for it from Big Daddy Unlimited, and those items just recently came here. So if you're not familiar with Big Daddy Unlimited, it's kind of a pay-for website operation. It's 99 cents for the first month, and then $10 a month after that. And so with that, you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, if you're going to make me pay extra for something, I have an expectation that comes with that payment. And that expectation is that I expect some discounts, and I expect fast shipping, kind of like an Amazon Prime. Not necessarily that fast, but pretty fast. And while I did get the discounts, the shipping was horrendous. I think I waited a total of 12 days to get the Eotech, and some 16, 17 days to get the flashlight. Now, I will say it was a $300 flashlight normally, and I paid $220 for it from Big Daddy, and the Eotech was normally, I think, a $740 optic in most places, and I got it there for $619. But I don't know about you, I'm fairly impatient. I would have paid the extra 80 bucks to get the light in 3 days. You know, just the way that I'm built. So be wary if you sign up for that membership with Big Daddy. And I don't know if that's just a recent thing. I don't have a long-term subscription through them or anything, and haven't bought a lot of items, but I have bought 4 items in the last 3 weeks, and just recently got most of them after I called them and harassed them about it. I will say that after I called them and harassed them, they overnighted it to me. It came the next day. But I shouldn't have to do that, especially if I'm paying you to shop with your organization. So yeah, so since I actually received, I ordered it about 3 weeks ago. I knew almost everything that I wanted for the weapon, and ordered most of those items as well. And just recently got the Surefire light in today. And Big Daddy Unlimited was the holdup. But I wanted to talk you through what I did to it. So it's a standard Mark 18 in FDE, and like I said, it was about $2,200 bucks. And I'll start from the tip and work my way down. So with the Mark 18s, it is, you know, it's a 10.3 inch barrel. So one of the complaints about weapon systems with the barrel this short is there's a lot of signature when you fire. And you'll hear people talk about how it gave away their positions and things of that nature. One way to mitigate that is to put a good flash hider on it, or maybe even a suppressor. And one of the best 3-prong flash hiders on the market is the Knight's Armament 3-prong that you see here. And so I bought this excuse me, and I think it was about 90 bucks. And I think I got it from Cat directly. And just so you know, when you pull off your original flash hider and throw this one on, this one has a timing stud up front, and that's so that you can install a suppressor directly onto this device. I have not ordered a suppressor. I just bought this for the option, as well as the flash hiding capabilities of this specific device. And so it comes with these little washers. You'll have 5 or 6 little shims, and you'll have to utilize a combination of those shims through a process that gets you perfectly timed. But I will say it is a good looking flash hider, and it serves its purpose. It's great. And unlike a lot of 3-prong flash hiders, this one does not have the ring that some of them do have. Moving on, this is a short barrel, and I generally, I'm old school. I went to a lot of CQB courses and you know, courses back in the day, and have been utilizing and training, utilizing the magwell stance for 2 decades. And while I do see the benefit of a C-clamp when you're utilizing a longer barreled weapon, it's not necessarily beneficial with a 10.5-inch barrel, especially when you have equipped your weapon system as such. But in the heat of a conflict or an engagement, you can move your weapon up and down the rail system, and easily with a 10.5-inch barrel or 7.5, find yourself moving too far forward with your supporting hand. And so I always go with a hand stop. Now I wanted a Noveske Barricade, the K9 hand stop, but they've stopped selling those, stopped producing them. Unfortunately, I love those, and I used to put them on all of my weapon systems. But after searching around, I found this one from a company called Mech Force, and I was not disappointed. It came in the mail, and it is very well made, very sturdy, and does exactly what I want it to do. As we discussed, I got this Surefire Mini Scout 300 from Big Daddy, and it comes with the low ride Picatinny mount, and it just comes with a push button tail on it. So I bought another tail switch for it with the Surefire pressure switch. So it has a constant on, and it has a momentary on. And I will say that you can easily, if you grab this weapon in the wrong place, accidentally set that off. So you have to be careful with how you utilize that. I've seen some reviews on this. Is the first one of these pressure switches I've owned, and I've seen some reviews saying that it is kind of difficult to set it off accidentally, but that is not the case. It can be set off accidentally fairly easily. So, like I said, normally this flashlight is around 300 bucks. I got it for $220 through Big Daddy, and I bought this tail switch from a different place, and that was another $178, I believe. So altogether, you would be looking at close to 500 bucks for the light and the pressure switch. Through Big Daddy, I got that about 80 bucks cheaper. Moving on down, I have the Steiner DBAL I2. Now they make 2 similar IR laser aiming devices, and one has a visible laser, and that one's about twice as much as this one. And I am totally against visible lasers on AR platforms. and wouldn't own one. So it made the choice easy for me. So you can get a Steiner DBAL I2, and it comes with the laser and the illuminator for around 800 bucks, which is a great deal. I would love to have a mall or a PEC 15, but you're looking at $3,000 for a mall, a B. Myers mall, or PEC 15 is also very expensive. And so you would have to be doing a lot of night operations, or anticipating doing a lot of night operations to justify the cost of that. And so if I was going to put a maul on something, it would be a weapon that would be utilized at a much longer range. Mark 18 with a 10.3-inch barrel. This is exactly what you need, in my opinion. So for 800 bucks, you can get the Steiner DBAL. And the pressure switch I chose for the Steiner DBAL is this Mod Light pressure switch. And I tell you, I am very happy with that. One push of the button momentarily actuates the whatever setting you have it on. I usually keep it on dual high, which is illuminator and laser at the same time. And a double touch of the button gives you a permanent on. And a lot of people, when they have a setup similar, you know, with a IR laser aiming device and lights up front, they have a lot of problems with wire management. And they end up using Ranger bands or zip ties or something like that. To me, it looks a little messy. What I recommend is LaRue makes these index clips. You see I have these here. And with the bag of index clips, you'll get like 12 that have these wire retainers built onto them. And the whole bag of them is only like $12.99. And they ship very quickly. LaRue's a great company. So I recommend these index clips for your wire management. And as you can see, it's set up pretty clean. Moving down the weapon, I put a Daniel Defense QD attachment for a sling. And continuing down the weapon, I added this Eotech EXPS3. Now, if you're not very familiar with Eotechs, in my opinion, this is like a top of the line optic for a AR platform. The 3 is different in the 2 in that it has a night vision capability as well. So if you're behind nods, you can utilize that night vision capability if your IR laser goes down or something to that of that nature. And it has, I think, 20 daylight settings and 12 nighttime settings, intensities, which is outstanding. And the Eotechs are very rugged. I've utilized these in the sandbox, and they've been beat to hell in and out of Humvees, and they do very well. They hold zero very well. And they, of all the optics tested, they generally have far less parallax drift than any other optic on the market. Generally speaking, I was a huge fan of Trijicon MROs. I still am. For any type of precision shooting, I love the small, just a small red dot of an aim point CCO or MRO. But for running and gunning, CQB situations, quick target acquisition, things of that nature, you can't really beat an Eotech. You can fire, 2 eyes open, and really be on target all the time. And if you have to quickly engage something out to 150 yards, the parallax drift is minimal in comparison to other optics. So the Eotech comes highly recommended from me, if that means anything. I kept the ambi charging handle. I love it. I kept the Daniel Defense bolt carrier group. I love that as well. So I did switch out the safety selectors. The Mark 18 comes with an ambi safety selector, but the right side of the weapon is just as long as the left side. And when you start shooting it, it will dig into your hand. And that is undesirable for me. You go put a few hundred rounds through it, and even if you're wearing gloves, it'll start to wear a hot spot on your hand. And I don't always wear gloves, so it was a no-brainer for me. So the Radian Talon, I forget the cost of it, but it was, I want to say 60, 80 bucks, I think. But it's a great system, and it gives you an option of a 90 degree or a 45 degree safety. It is shorter on one side, and there's several options. You can get a single side safety. You can get one longer on this side, shorter on this side, however you want to do it. And the system for installing these is, I think, pretty great as well. So big fan of the Radian safety selector. Now, what I do recommend with every AR you get, if it doesn't come with a great aftermarket trigger, you should always upgrade your trigger. That should be the first thing you do. Every AR build or buy, if it doesn't have like a Timney trigger or something that comes with it, I always upgrade the trigger. And this is my first Geissle trigger. You can tell by the little G on it. And this is the SSA-E, and it is a two-stage trigger. And it is a amazing trigger. It's got a 3.5 pound pull. I tested it. It does exactly what they say it does. And it is a great trigger. A lot of people run Geissle's with great success. It is a tested trigger and works great. And I didn't do anything to the pistol brace. If you watch my first video, this thing is kind of wobbly, but not enough to bother me. So that's about it. I am pretty much done with what I'm going to do with the weapon. And also use a Magpul sling. And it is a awesome tested weapon system. So if you're thinking about getting a short barreled rifle or a 10.5 inch pistol, Daniel Defense Mark 18 is, you can't go wrong with it. It is an absolute tank of a weapon. This RIS-2 rail system is amazing. I'm a fan of quad rail systems. I like them far better than M-Lock or any other proprietary handguards on the market. But I'm also a little older school than most. But yeah, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Have a good one.